Did you know that 7 out of 10 credit reports have an error on them? Many people have bad credit and believe that it's their fault that their credit is the way it is and that the responsibility is on them to actually fix it. But what if I told you that the laws actually work in your favor? And if you understand the laws, then you can credit your way to wealth. That's a bar. Listen, our next guest is going to give you everything you need to know to get excellent credit in no time, the right way, the ethical way, the way that's gonna help you build wealth for generations to come. Let's get it. Hey, wait. I know you wanna watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video.
Pay attention and listen, we about to teach class. Inside the vault, my man Ash Cash. So get your man right. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. you see him to change your life. Millionaire mindset, the best on earth. Blueprint, the wealth, the knowledge network. So get it while you can, and he's standing right here. Just come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.
All right, y'all, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the #1 financial literacy show that's gonna help you create the life that you want, to help you live in abundance and create that 6 or 7-figure business and generational wealth. Today, we have a powerful show for you because when you understand how money works, when you understand wealth, when you understand how credit can help you build wealth for generations, then you will know why you need to watch this episode more than once, share it with your friends, share it with your mama them, your sister them, all of them. We got my guy Dion in the building.
Good, bro.
What up, my G? How you, man?
I'm all good. I can't complain.
Yo, man. I'm excited about this show because, you know, I've been a financial educator for over a decade. Yeah. Have been beating the drum on, you know, how credit can help you build wealth. And you got a methodology, a new methodology that even for me as a seasoned financial educator, when you told it blew my mind. Yeah. And so y'all, listen, I promise you, I'm not hyping it up. I promise you, when he dropped this gem, y'all gonna go crazy. Y'all gonna be like, yo, where has Dion been all my life? But before we even get all there, who is Dion Coopwood?
Man, so Dion, I'm a mindset, financial literacy coach. And I just help people unlock their 6-figure year with, you know, coaching from me and just helping them tap into the right mindset and understanding financial literacy so that way they can take themselves to the next level. Born and raised in the south side of Chicago. Shout out to my Chicago people out there, or even my Gary, Indiana people out there, right? Just shout out to everybody from the south side of Chicago, because growing up in Chicago, we understand that it wasn't easy. You know, life just necessarily wasn't fair. I grew up in a broken home, you know, didn't have, you know, my dad, no relationship there. Probably met about 4 or 5 times, to be honest with you, Ash. And I just was the type of individual that I wasn't going to allow that situation or that circumstance, you know, stop me from being able to achieve the level of success that I felt like I deserved within me as an individual, right? And so, man, I just said that I was going to give life all I got because I deserved a lot, you know? And so with that being said, now I fast forward my life, even though I didn't have a relationship with a man growing up and somebody to show me the way, you know, I said, you know what, I'm going to allow that situation to really motivate and inspire me to be the best father figure, to be the best, you know, individual that I can be to my family. So now, you know, married, man, 3 kids, and taking care of my mom at the exact same time. And so life has been good. And as you always say, life has been abundant. So that's who I am. And that's where I come from, brother. That's me.
Yeah. And I love, I love your energy, love your enthusiasm, love your story. Because I feel like a lot of people who grow up in similar situations, they give up. They don't have that fortitude to have them keep going. Like what was it in you that said, I gotta push past this though. I'm not gonna be a victim of my circumstance.
Yeah, to be honest, man, I think it was the way my mom raised me.
Yeah.
She always raised me in the church, taught me to be a believer. Yeah. And so just those foundational principles, as a child growing up, it stuck with me. Yeah. It stuck with me. And I said, as long as I can believe and I can achieve, as long as I can see it, I can achieve it. I could be it. You know what I mean? And so I just like, you know what? I'm going to keep believing. I'm going to stay motivated. I'm going to stay inspired. And the times when people didn't believe me, they gave up on me. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I'm going to keep pushing. Yeah. I'm going to keep going. Yeah. And so here I am. I'm like, you know what? It's going to be good. Yeah. It's going to be all good, right? Yeah. So I just stayed a believer. And I think that that's the biggest piece that a lot of people are missing, is that they don't tap into that foundation, right? I think a lot of life is really about the fundamentals. Yeah. And we are taught a lot of fundamentals as we're growing up, and we forget some of those things that we're taught from our mom and people that raised us or who taught us to do things the right way. And we kind of, like you said, we allow people to sway us. We allow people to convince us to not have that right mindset, to keep going and just continue to stay motivated and inspired. And so for me, I'm like, I'm going to keep those principles intact that mom's taught me. And, it carried a lot of weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, I'm a hooper, you a hooper, right?
Yeah.
I ain't played D1 though. You played D1.
Little ball,
you know what I mean?
Little ball.
Talk to us a little bit about the parallels between the discipline that basketball, professional, sports in general teaches you, and being successful as an entrepreneur in business.
Yeah, those two really go hand in hand. And the reason why is because me playing basketball, it taught me one principle that everybody needs. You got to be coachable.
Yeah, ooh.
Like, you got to be coachable. Yeah. And so that principle alone, by, when a coach say run the play, I got to run the play. Otherwise, I got to sit down and I can't enjoy what it is that I'm good at doing. You know what I mean? Ooh. And so, me growing up and having...
Wait. Hold on. Don't miss that. Don't miss that. No, that's a bar. Yeah. Look at the camera and say that again. Say that again. Now that's a bar.
Yeah, like that principle, of playing basketball, and growing up. And I'm talking about I had coach after coach after coach, and I remained coachable. And so just being coachable and having that principle, growing up in life, that's the piece that allowed me to stay in the game and run the play. Because when you can be coachable, it's like your lifestyle is limitless. Because when you got people in your life that has, played the game, most coaches has played the game. Yeah. Most coaches have played the game. And so now that they can be a coach, they can actually teach you how to run the plays that allow them to be successful and win, because most coaches are winners. Yeah. Like, if you look at the coaches around the NBA, college, and things of that nature, most of those individuals have won in the game of life, in the game of basketball. Yeah. And so all they're doing is they're giving back to the individuals who are now playing now and who eventually are going to be coaches. Yeah. So if you want to, start off as a player and, make great money and, do things, whether it be basketball, whether it be rap, entrepreneur, as long as you can be coachable, Ash, this is what I'm going to tell you. If you could be coachable, just in those foundational principles of life, you could go anywhere, because, again, most coaches was players. You can go from a player to a coach. You can go from a coach to be an owner. Because as you become a coach and you're actually successful there, you get to sit in the skybox, man. You get to watch the game from where it's played at now. So people got to understand that when you're looking to get into something, if you can be coachable, you can go a long way.
I love that you said that, because I think that a lot of times people are trying to figure out what others have already figured out to try to do it different. Yeah. And doesn't make sense, right? No. And, the number one thing that I've seen is that it's always the broke people and who are not willing, number one, to pay. Yeah. Right? To pay to be coached. It's always the broke people who think things are scams, who are not willing to, invest in themselves. But it's the people that's getting to it, you know what I'm saying, who are willing to invest in themselves, right? So like, you and I, right? We met through Neo's mastermind, right? Yep. And so when I think of Neo's mastermind, that's a pretty penny to, you know what I'm saying? To join into to the mastermind. But the truth of the matter is that, once you are in these spaces, not only have you now qualified yourself to be around other movers and shakers, right?
Yes.
When you think about what Hov said, meet me at the table, the one that starts a G up.
Yeah.
That way, no fraud willies, silly, gambling their re-up, right?
Yeah.
And so for y'all who don't understand what he's saying, yo, I don't want to gamble with the dudes who are gambling their re-up or gambling money that they don't have.
Yeah.
Yo, meet me at the table, the one that starts a G up, 1,000 or better.
Yep.
Right? Because once I'm at that table, I know that everybody else is willing to bet on themselves, right? So how important is, you talked about being coachable, but how important is mentorship, even when you reach a certain level of success? How important is ongoing mentorship?
You said something that hit me. You talked about paying, how we had to pay for the mentorship, right, with Neo. The concept, and Neo talks about this all the time, those who don't pay, they don't pay attention. That's true.
Facts.
Like, I got family members that come to me and they look at my success and they say, well, man, can you mentor me? And I tell them the price.
Yeah.
And they look at me and it's disrespectful to me because I understand that they don't understand that if I gave you my mentorship for free and I spent all day with you like I do with my mentors, right? You're not going to pay attention because you didn't pay nothing.
Yeah.
But if I say, hey, if I mentor you like how Neil said, yo, I'll mentor you guys, but here's the cost. We looked at the price tag and we didn't question it because we understood mentorship.
Yeah.
So when somebody had to look at something and say, well, if this may be my last.
Yeah.
So if I spend my last on mentorship, then I gotta pay attention because I need to get a return on my investment. Yeah. So when you pay attention, right? And see, you talked about, mentorship and people not understanding the value and people look at it as a scam. Well, scam to me still stands for still confused about money. They're confused. They don't understand how money works. They don't get it. Because, I paid to be in Neo's mentorship program, right? And it's like, the return on the investment I got, I'm not going to talk numbers, but it's silly.
Yeah.
It don't even make any sense.
Yeah.
But I knew my value and I knew my worth and I knew Neo's value, I knew his worth because to me, price is only issue in the absence of value. Oof. I knew that Neo was valuable. I watched him. I looked at the receipts. Yeah. I looked at the track record. I said, he's where I want to go. Yeah. So this is what mentorship really means to me. And I talk about this all the time, Ash. But people, I think, can still go over their head like luggage. They don't get it. So this is what mentorship means to me. Ash, if you were...
That's that Chicago slick talk. Yeah. I caught all of it. But
you got to pick up what I'm putting down. Let's go. Look, so my thing is this. If Ash is going to travel right now, you can't take a plane. You got to go 4 states over. You're probably going to use something like a navigation or GPS or something, right? Okay, cool. If you get on a plane, the flight attendant and the co-pilot and the pilot, they probably are connected because they know we got to go from here to here. Even though it's a plane, we still going to use navigation, right? Yeah. Why do we use navigation, Ash? Why do we use navigation to go from where we at to where we trying to go? Why?
Because we need direction. We want the easiest way, the fastest route to get to there.
Ash, you just explained mentorship. People don't understand when you're at point A and you're trying to get to point B, you got to tap into a mentor who has been where you at, and they currently are where you trying to go. And they're going to get you there, like you just said, the GPS get you there the fastest. It get you there the safest. It's the best thing that you got. Like, mentorship is like a cheat code to life. Yeah. So when I said, look, when I tap into Neo, I'm going to pay whatever it costs to be the boss. Yeah. I'm going to pay because I need somebody to navigate me from point A to point B. That's my GPS system. So everybody got to understand and know that a mentor is just like a GPS system. It's nothing short of it. So if we trust the GPS system to get us from point A to point B, the safest, the most efficient, and the most cost efficient, why don't you look at a mentor the same way? So that's how I look at mentorship.
Nah, I love that. And so talk to us about your mentorship program, right? Yep. Demand the decade.
Dominate the decade.
Dominate the decade. Talk to us about that.
Well, see, what I do is I teach people a lot of concepts in regards to financial literacy, similar to yourself, but I teach everything underneath the sun: personal credit, business funding, trade lines, manufacturer spending. I'm teaching my mentees the concept and the way of life in regards to, like you said, if you're not tapped into credit, then you can't possibly tap into wealth. Yeah. And I understand that people that are living with bad credit, they're putting themselves in a situation where every single day they're making money, making decisions, and it's costing them because everything that we do is normally costing us from an interest rate perspective. 100%. You know what I mean? Yeah. 2 of our biggest purchases in life is an automobile. That's expensive. Yeah. And that depreciates with value, right? Yeah. And then you got a house, which appreciates with value. But your house and your car is one of our biggest expenses in life, and it costs us money. But people not understanding that if you got bad credit, you're going to pay 10 times more than a person with good credit.
Facts.
Then when you go in there with bad credit, they like, yo, your credit is bad. You got a bad interest rate. We want money down. Like they sticking it to you. Rather than you having good credit and you put yourself in a good position. So this is what I'm teaching my mentees, because the reality is that 9 out of 10 people don't understand financial. They don't have the basics and the understanding of the concepts of how money works.
Yeah.
And financial literacy is big in the industry because ain't no schools really teaching. No, the kids ain't learning it in school. You ain't learning it in no university. And so they're teaching stuff that we can't really apply when we come out.
Yeah.
You know, I tell my mentees all the time, the investment that you just made into my mentorship program is going to be the best for you. They say, well, make it make sense. And they already understand it because obviously you got to have the right mindset to make that type of investment. But I tell them, I say, listen, you guys are not going to spend 4 years with me. You're not going to give me $100,000 and you're not going to come up out of here and not make no money.
Yeah.
That's normally what a university does to people. You there for 4 years.
Yeah.
You done gave them $100,000.
Yeah.
And you graduating with a degree that you can't even really apply.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You at Walmart or Walgreens, you trying to figure it out because life said, here's the bills. And you a mom or you a dad or you a parent and you got real bills and real life is happening.
Yeah.
But then you get into a mentorship program like mine, yours, Neo's, people that's out here that I would consider what's called entrepreneurs, entrepreneur educators. And we're giving people the game because we've done it.
Yeah.
We've had failures, we've had successes, and we put together a system that works for you. Systems stand for save yourself some time, energy, and money.
Ooh.
And we giving them a system. So in Dominate the Decade, you got a system that you're able to plug yourself into, and you give me 30 to 90 days with you, and I'm showing you how to literally come up out of the program, and you can make, you want 5 figures a month, 6 figures a month. It's up to you because you can't just come in the program and be note takers. You got to come in and be action takers too.
Nah,
You know
I
what
love that. Wait, hold on. I know y'all watching this video, but yo, my guy Carter has a challenge that I need you to tap into. Talk to him about the challenge.
Yo, everybody talk about making the bag. I want to help you keep the bag with my tax-free challenge. You're going to spend 5 days with me and learn how to live tax-free. I'm teaching you how to write up your travel, your cars, your clothes, and live the tax-free life and keep the bag. You know, we got to keep the bag, right?
You got to keep the bag to get your mind and your money right. Tap in 5 days with my guy. Let's go. Let's go back to the show. Yo, too much heat, y'all. Listen.
I told you it's gonna get hot in here, bro.
It's gonna get hot. It's gonna get hot. So you blew my mind. We was talking behind the scenes, and you blew my mind when you talked about this new credit system
Yep.
that you are implementing. You're helping others implement, called Metro 2.
Yep.
Yo, listen. Before we get here, get a piece of paper, get a pen. Write this down, because Metro 2 is going to change your life. Yep. Talk to us, bro.
Got you. Yeah, so most people, when they going through the credit repair process, they doing what's called factual dispute. And it works, and you get results. But what I end up finding out is that when I started to get into the industry, I was like, it's got to be another way. And what I found out it was another way.
And you said factual dispute.
Factual dispute
is normally
factual dispute is where an individual either says that the accounts on their consumer credit profile do or don't belong to them. They don't assume no responsibility, or they say that the accounts on the credit profile is probably not factual, has some inaccuracies or misguided or inappropriate information, and maybe there's really no true ownership. And so I don't have to own it. As long as I don't state ownership, then based upon factual dispute and saying that these items don't belong to me, I can get it removed, right?
Got it.
But a lot of times what end up happening is, and I found out this the hard way when I first got into the industry, that there's a lot of back and forth, right? And so even though that's just the normal way of doing it, and that's the only one legal way in order to properly repair a person's credit, when you take that national credit exam, you learn that. They say, hey, listen, what is the only one legal way? It's called factual dispute. But what people don't know is, again, information will change your financial situation. I was educated on a concept called Metro 2, and what Metro 2 is, it's a concept of where the consumer has a better chance at getting items removed and deleted off their consumer credit profile, because what happens is the credit bureaus, they put together this compliance law. And the compliance law back in 1997 stated that if a item on a consumer credit profile does not meet certain standards, it's not ethically right, morally right, or legally right based upon how it should be reported, based upon compliance, then it can't be reported. So see, Ash, when we send in letters to the credit bureau, we thinking that somebody's sitting there and they're emotional and they reading these letters, right? Ain't nobody, they not doing that. You got to think it's millions of letters that are being sent in every single day, every single week. So when the letter come in, somebody manually opens the letter and they feed it into this machine called eOscar. And so Metro 2 compliance, and people could Google this. Google what's eOscar, Google what's Metro 2. Metro 2 is the compliance standard that eOscar was developed by. So when you feed a letter to eOscar, it's just a web-based coding machine. So all it's looking is for specific words, specific letters, and specific coding that is going back to determine whether an account can stay on a consumer credit profile or it gotta be deleted. So when you feed that letter and that's a Metro 2 compliant letter, the machine is gonna say delete, 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 delete because it's not compliant based upon my standard as a machine. So ain't no point of sending in a letter saying a dog ate my homework, I lost my job, I can't pay my bills. That's not gonna work. You need to send in a web-based compliant letter that's gonna get the job done. So what I'm teaching my mentees is I'm giving them an actual system. I'm giving them an actual system, and the system gonna be in a book that, obviously it'll be in the links in here, but I get them an actual system that literally does all the work for them though, Ash. They ain't even gotta worry about how to put together the letter, because most people, they come and they say, well, how I'm gonna put together these letters? How I'm gonna get these, items removed off my credit profile? The reality is that I give them an actual system that all they gotta do is upload their credit report. It's gonna identify all of the negative items. All you gotta do is hit generate items to be deleted. It's gonna generate a letter. All you gotta do is just mail it off. It's gone. And even the system that I give the people, you ain't even gotta mail off the letters if you don't want to. You can hit a button and it'll mail your letters off too. This thing is crazy.
All right, and so just to unpack that a little bit, right? So, I stated earlier that 7 out of 10 credit reports have mistakes on them, right? And so a lot of you mentioned factual reporting, where if people are looking for those errors and kind of using those to get stuff removed off their credit report, right? But this new system, right, Metro 2, is literally breaking down sort of like the way that the credit bureaus want things to be reported, and if they're not reported in the way that it's supposed to be reported, whether it's right or wrong, right? Whether it's right or wrong, if it's not reported in a specific way, then it has to be removed.
So factual dispute, just like you said, we talking about we talking about whether the items are mine or not based upon factual nature of the account and inaccuracies, maybe the date is wrong or the amount is wrong. We talk about arguing with the bureau versus it's not compliant to be reported. We talking about, I see it there, it's reported. I may or may not own the account. I may or not have responsibility of the account. Maybe not. And I'm gonna argue that I don't, more than anything, to get it based upon factual nature of the account. But over here, we talking about the account can't even, it's incompliant to be reported. So how can we fight fire with fire. They made the rule. I'm just teaching people the rule that they made to use it against them. That's it.
And how important, because there's a lot of people who watch the show who, work a 9 to 5, who are, looking to either start a business and kind of get to that next level. How important is your personal credit as it relates to, starting a business?
It's very vital, because most people, and this is a misconception that I deal with a lot, Ash, is that people come to me and they say, hey, I want to start a business. I want to get business credit. I want to get business funding. But what they don't realize, and that I just want to help the people, is that you got to have your personal credit in order, because a lot of these financial institutions that you're going to get your business started, to get these startup loans, to get this startup capital, they're looking at Ash as the individual to determine whether what's your personal credit history look like. Can we really trust you as the business owner to handle this $50,000 or $100,000 line of credit to go ahead and go start the business? Because you got to think, most lines of credit, or whether it's a credit card or line of credit, these are unsecured lines of credit. So that means that there's no collateral backing them. So that means that if you go start an LLC today and you go get a $100,000 line of credit tomorrow, what's the likelihood of a person repaying it if things just don't work out? There's no likelihood, right? So what they do is they want the individual to PG, or what's considered personally guarantee that business in order to get that line of credit. So they say, if the business default on that line of credit, Ash, we're going to come for you for the money. We're going to put this now on your credit report so that way you can pay us back. So personal credit is obviously very important. Now, you need to meet certain criteria and guidelines in order to make sure that you can actually support your business. But, I mean, that's a whole nother story. But just to answer your question, personal credit is huge. It's huge.
And how can somebody, build wealth with credit, right? Because I think that when we think about credit, I know majority of everyday people think about credit just from a standpoint of buying the things that they want, that they can't afford, but they buy them now in advance, right? But you know, myself as a financial educator, knowing and understanding credit, there are ways to build wealth with credit. But if you could talk to our audience about those.
See, again, we wasn't taught this kind of stuff at the dinner table. And so we don't understand how credit works. We don't understand that we need to get our credit in order. We need to go to the bank and we need to leverage OPM, what we consider other people's money. We need to learn how to leverage other people's money. We need to go to the bank and be okay taking out a $100,000 line of credit. And then once we take out that $100,000 line of credit, I'm going to say this because I don't want to guide nobody in the wrong direction, but we need to learn how to essentially have a game plan in order for that money. I tell my mentees all the time, don't go to the bank and get a line of credit, or don't go get a credit card with 0% APR for 12 months if you don't have a 12-month game plan. Right. But the reality is that if you got a business plan where you know you're going to go get some real estate, you're going to put some cars on Turo, you know, you're going to go do Airbnb, go get that line of credit. Stop trying to put yourself in a position where you're using your money, you know, trying to fund your dreams or trying to fund your business. Now you run out of cash, and then now, look, that's Ash Cash. You run out of cash, right? But then now you're in a situation where you can't keep your business going, or your business has to get dissolved because you've run out of money. So essentially, building wealth with credit is essential, and people don't understand it because, I mean, when I tell you I leverage credit all day, I go get everything I want, need, and gotta have. And this is a concept that people understand. This is how powerful credit is. You can get approved for over $100,000 line of credit before you can go make $100,000. You know what I mean? So while you out here struggling, trying to work your job day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, and you trying to save money, you doing this thing backwards. You hustling backwards.
Wait, say that again. You said you could get approved.
Yes.
Say it one more time.
You get approved for $100,000 in lines of credit before you can make $100,000, right? So then if I could show you a way in less than 90 days to get $100,000 in credit, that you can now go take and start 2 or 3 businesses and create yourself some residualized income. So now you take $100,000 from the bank, you go, let's just say you go get a real estate property that's got you $3,000 cash flow coming in. Then you go take another piece of that, you start a Turo fleet, and now you got $6,000 coming in. So now you at a point where you got $5,000 to $10,000 a month coming in, and now the bank said, hey, yo, on this $100,000 loan, we stretched you out. We gave you, let's just say they gave you 82 months to pay it back. Something super small like a $1,500 a month. No, now you paying them back. We good.
Right.
We ain't tripping.
Wow.
It's the same concept when we go buy a car. We don't get them $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 for the car. When we go buy a house, we don't get them $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 for the house. We say, hey, yo, I want to take a loan out, and I want you to finance this house, and I'll pay you back monthly. It's the same thing when we start our business, Ash. We need to go to the bank and ask the bank for $50,000 or $100,000 line of credit after we've gotten our personal credit together. Then we take those funds and we put that into our business and let the business generate us some money, and we pay the bank back slowly but surely. You know what I mean?
And so I know there's a mindset though, right? Because a lot of people who may or may not understand personal credit, they carry over that same personal credit thought process into business credit, but they're two separate animals. Can you talk a little bit about the differences between personal credit and business credit?
Yeah, so essentially personal credit is everything that you go do that's considered a consumer credit transaction, where a consumer transaction is where you go out and on your individual name, you write down your name, your social security number. So that's a consumer transaction, right? When you go out and you do things in your business name, a business transaction, that's normally an EIN number, you know, in your business and things of that nature with your Dun & Bradstreet, and you got business credit, you got personal credit. So those two are totally different entities. And people get it confused because, again, we're not taught these fundamentals when we start a business, when we're coming into things, because we have our regular bank account. We don't have a business bank account. And so then when we start our business, we just probably got an EIN number. We don't have it really incorporated. We don't have our DUNS number together. We don't really have a lot of these fundamental principles in place. So what ends up happening there, Ash, is that we go out and we start a business, and the money is coming in and it's going into our personal bank account, and we just using money and spending money, not realizing that there's a totally different ball game, because personal credit, business credit, two totally different entities. They ain't going together. They shouldn't go together, but we got to mesh together like glue. When you got to divorce your business, you got to divorce yourself from your business. Your business have its own business bank account where money is going in there. You pay yourself as an LLC to the individual, and now you can, do your taxes. The game gets crazy. But I want to help people understand, like you said, it's a difference between personal credit and business credit. Where business credit, none of that stuff reports to your personal credit profile if you're doing it the right way. Unless you're a sole proprietor. If you're running a real LLC, you're running a real business the right way that it's supposed to be ran, then you got lines of credit. Similar like me and you, I'm pretty sure you got Amex Platinum. Everything we do on that Amex Business
100%.
Platinum, it's all over there.
100%.
So now what ends up happening is just like when I just moved to Atlanta, I go to buy a house, they looking at me like all they see is income. They see no liabilities. Because they like, you don't got no cars?
Yeah.
I don't have no cars. My business got cars.
100%.
I don't have cars.
100%.
Now, that's 4 cars in the driveway,
100%.
but they ain't in my name. I have no
100%.
ownership.
100%.
But look, Ho said, it's the concept of owning nothing but controlling everything.
Yeah. Facts.
I don't own nothing.
Yeah,
it's
facts.
nothing. You could sue me. Sue me if you want to.
Exactly.
You ain't getting that.
Facts.
It's all in the business name.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts. Nah, as a 100%, because I tell you, I got a nice car, but
Right.
I don't have a nice car.
I don't have a
My
nice car.
LLC got it, right?
There you go.
And that's the other, and you talked about like, Amex, right?
Yeah.
I charge everything on the
Everything.
Amex, right? And it's such a blessing though to be able to live off of points though.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that a lot of times people don't realize I cut my debit card up. I'm not charging nothing
I
on
don't
the
know what
debit
that
card.
is. I don't know what that is.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people believe there's people out here that convince you to like never use credit, and you missing out. Right? Like I use my points to fly.
Yeah.
I fly good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I eat good.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Do
I
that.
saw you on the plane.
I mean, right? But how do you talk about that a little bit,
Yep,
right? Like
yep.
talk about that concept of being able to live off of points,
Yeah.
opposed to or like the reason why debit cards are the worst thing you could do with the worst thing
Okay.
you could do with money in my estimation.
Yep.
Is spend your own money and
Yeah.
use debit card.
Yeah. Using debit cards, and there's no offense to nobody, Ash, but using debit cards, that's a poverty mindset. Using credit cards, that's a wealth mindset.
Yeah.
Because when we use our debit card, we can't build credit.
Yeah.
So why would I use my debit card if it's not going to help me build credit?
Yeah.
It's called a credit score. I need to build credit.
Yeah.
If everywhere I go, these people are essentially judging me based upon my credit score, if I use a debit card, if I'm not building credit, that doesn't make sense. If I use a debit card and I lose my debit card and somebody start using my money, that's my real hard-earned money, Ash. Like, why would I want to risk my money? It doesn't make sense. And then if I use my debit card, like you just stated, I'm not getting no cash back and no reward points. Yep. So I'm not getting no type of investment or no type of return on the investment of money that I'm spending on the debit card. But if I use my credit card, I'm protecting my money in the bank, because if I lose my credit card, that's their money. It's not mine.
Yep.
Why do I care, right? I can sleep peacefully at night if I lose my credit card. But that debit card, it ain't the same type of feeling. It's like, I'm having a panic attack, right? Then if I use my credit card, I'm building credit. Then as I'm building credit, as I'm using credit and paying it off, I'm building more credit. Then guess what I do? Every 90 days, I ask the bank, I say, hey, let me get a limit increase. I've been using this card up. I got some more shopping to do. Then they increase my limit, which means that now my credit card utilization go down, which my score goes up some more. Make it make sense, right? Then every time I use this American Express Business Platinum card, and I ain't going to get into the perks because, I'm walking straight through the airport. I'm sitting in an executive lounge, eating good, drinking good. It's all free on American Express. I appreciate you, right? But I'm getting cash back every time I spend every single dollar on that card. So I teach a concept to my mentees called manufactured spending, right? And so that's a concept where I teach them how to create passive income as long as they got a credit card that's got cash back and reward points. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you talking about the points, and we talking about points. We talk about teaching people how to go out and literally have a concept to where you spending money, because we're gonna spend money anyway. We're gonna spend it anyway.
Yeah.
But along with the money that you're gonna spend anyway, teaching you another concept that you can use, that you can actually create passive income from. Yeah. So now we got a revolving bank of money that's coming in. So you know that it just makes sense. People don't understand. They don't know it because, again, this is just education. Yeah. You know, again, like Neo always tell me, our biggest expense in life is what we don't know.
No, facts.
And so if we don't know it, we can't grow it. That's it. It's all good.
If you are an entrepreneur, business coach, or small business owner who wants to get more visibility for your product or service, then consider advertising on Inside the Vault. We have been seen and heard over 2 million times, and as the show continues to grow, your ad would be embedded in our episodes forever. So the return on investments on advertising with us is unmeasurable and invaluable. If you're interested in this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, then text PODCAST to 646-687-5685 4152 or email us at info@insidethevaultshow.com. Allow your business to get the visibility that it deserves.
And it's so crazy because think about this concept, right? And so anybody who's listening, think about this concept. You're gonna spend money on groceries. You're gonna spend money on gas.
Yep.
You're gonna do laundry or whatever the case may be. Both my kids go to private school.
Yep.
I charge my kids' tuition on private school.
As you should.
I charge my kids' tuition on my credit card. I do gas on credit. I do everything on anything that they allow me to do credit. I'm doing credit because the truth of the matter is that I'm going to have to pay for these things anyway. And so anybody who's hearing us say this, we're not saying to use credit cards irresponsibly,
correct.
right? And to buy things that you don't need. Don't go. I mean, if you're gonna buy the clothes anyway, then do it. But don't go and buy stuff that you don't need. No, use the credit card for the things you were gonna spend money on anyway. That money that's in that bank account that you was gonna spend it, use that to pay off the credit card.
Correct.
And then now once you use that to pay off the credit card, if you have a good, credit card, and I mean, I know we keep saying Amex, but there's others out there because Amex ain't giving us no check.
Right.
So we keep saying Amex. Amex do us right. You know what I'm saying? But there's you got I ain't gonna even say no names, right? You got other cards out there that give you points.
Yeah.
And then when you pay it back, now all of a sudden you get points from those, and then now the money that you was gonna spend anyway now has given you money, and now you can live passively. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. And so right now, somebody has bad credit. They're trying to get their credit, to the right space. What's the first thing they do?
They need to get with a credit repair expert. Immediately. They have to, because like I just said, they're in a situation to where every decision that they're making on a day-to-day basis is costing them money. Like we're trying to send kids to college if that's what they choose to do. We're trying to save money. We're trying to eradicate and eliminate debt. Again, if you have good credit and you can get the cash back and reward points like we just talked about, if you're going to spend the money anyway, that means that if you're spending the money and you're getting these points back, you could cash those in for, let's just say, gift cards, right? And you can take them gift cards and now you can pay off a utility bill, or you can eliminate some debt that you may have had sitting there, or you maybe owe somebody. You made some bad decisions as a younger individual. Now you need to pay these people back. It's just a situation to where if anybody has bad credit, they need to start with credit repair first. They need to start there first, and as they build, they need to get with somebody too that can actually educate them. Because if they don't have that mindset to understand that, okay, I made these decisions, how can I avoid them and not make them again? They need somebody that's going to educate them through the process of understanding that this is how you got into this situation. This is how we're going to get you out of it. And then these are the things that you need to do on a going forward basis, so that way you can stay away from making these costly decisions.
You said something about like mindset and making decisions. How do you help somebody change the mindset that like credit card is not free money, right? And because I mean, I'll put myself on blast. When I first started getting credit, I was thinking it's free money, right? And so I'm overspending because, it's just a credit card. But now when that bill come in and now you can't pay, you know what I'm saying? So how do you change that mindset so that people, view credit in the right way?
Yeah, I think that mindset has to be changed and altered based upon coaching. I think that, again, if you get with somebody that can actually coach you through understanding how we got in this position and how we're going to get out of it, I think that that's the piece that's critical. Because, again, like you said, most people, they'll hear this and they'll say, well, they're telling me to go get a credit card and they're telling me to just use the money on the credit card. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that based upon your spending habits, spend the money on the credit card and then take the money that's in the bank and pay it back.
Right.
We're not saying maybe I did. I'm going to be honest. I did. I made bad decisions when I first got introduced to credit because there was no real foundational education in regards to the introductory credit for me. And so when I got it, I just spent. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how it worked, right? And so then now you're in a situation where if you don't understand payment cycle, if you don't understand due date, now your payment cycle is jacked up. You're not paying stuff back on time. Now you got missed payments. Now your credit score is taking a hit. Everybody looking at you like, yo, you got all these missed payments. We don't want to do business with you, right? So again, a person just has to really be coached on the understanding of how credit works in itself, so that way they can have the proper mindset on a going forward basis in order to navigate and handle credit the right way.
Yeah. And so talk to me, right? Dion is now, at a space where, grew up not knowing who his dad was, had to figure things out himself. Now he's a multi 7-figure earner, parent, husband, doing the right thing. If Dion could go back to his 18-year-old self, what advice is Dion today giving young Dion?
That's a good question. Yeah. Normally, man, the enemy is the enemy.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Bar.
And so
the enemy is the inner me.
Yeah. I would have probably educated myself more on credit, to be honest. Yeah. I would have educated myself more on financial literacy and the understanding of how money really works. Yeah. I would have educated myself more on business. I would have honestly probably changed some things in regards to my environment. I think that the biggest piece on me getting to where I'm at is the fact that I made a lot of sacrifices, Ash, in regards to my environment. We always talk about audit in our circle. The people that I grew up with now, and I learned this later in life, is not the same people that I hang with. I mean, we talk about 20 and 30-year friends that they not here. Yeah. And they not here because I had a moment with myself that I could no longer stay in those type of environments to talk about the same stuff and wake up every day and chase the same, unforgotten dreams. It was just like, you know what, I want something totally different. Yeah. And so, for me, I was like, you know what, the whole time, I realized it was on me. It's been on me this whole time. Yeah. And so I just really had to make some different changes to get where I'm at. And that's part of the reason why I just recently relocated to the state of Georgia, because I said, man, I understand that there's power in proximity. Yeah. And I know that if I change my environment, it's going to help with, I already have a strong mindset. Ain't nothing nobody can say to me that's going to throw me off. Like, you can forget about it. Not even the wife. Like, she know that, right? Yeah. And we have in-depth conversations. But, I'm so focused, on my goals and my dreams, you can't talk me out of it. Yeah. But at the exact same time, if I could go back and tell my 18-year-old self something or anything, it's just, like educate yourself on some of the stuff that you really didn't know that now I'm learning later in life. It's kind of like the individuals out there that, maybe watching this and they got bad credit or they made some credit mistakes. Don't let that like be a part of what, determines your future. Like, you got it, right? Yeah. But the reality is that if you're hearing this and you're listening to this, you got to put yourself in a position to where start educating yourself on some of the stuff that we're talking about and some of the concepts in regards to money and credit and financial literacy that we're bringing up, because trust me, it's going to come to you sooner or later. Yeah. And we got to all deal with it at some point in time. Yeah. And so the 18-year-old me, I wish that, I could have took ownership sooner. Yeah. And I wish that I could have took, just the understanding of how money works and financial literacy and credit that much more, serious sooner than later.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. And so talk to us a little bit about like some of the money moves you made, right? What would you say is the most extravagant thing you've done with money? So
Oh man, when I last year I had my first 100K month, and I said I'm going to buy I-8, and that just. I mean, to most people, they like, that don't even make sense. And to me, it don't make sense because I know how money works, and I know that cars depreciate, but it was just a moment where it's like, you deserve this. Yeah. Because my wife gets on me all the time. She say, why you don't ever spend none of your money? Yeah. She spends all the money, you know what I'm saying? But I don't, why you don't join me? Yeah, why you don't? And I'm like, I'm trying to make sure the kids is good. Right. I want to, I got to take care of my babies. Yeah. I didn't grow up privileged. Right. And the way that my kids grow up, that brings me joy. You know what I mean? The way that my wife, she gets to relax all day and chill and not have a worry and don't have to go to work, that brings me joy. Yeah. So for me, that was probably the most extravagant thing that I've done, literally in my whole life, is went and bought a car that cost 6 figures. I'm like, I deserve this. Let me go and get that. And my wife was happy. She thought it was, you would have thought it was her car. Because I don't do nothing. I don't shop. I don't really do a whole lot. I'm like a basic guy. As long as I'm good, as long as my family, my kids is good, I'm good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
100%. And so what would you say is the most impactful thing you've done with money?
The most impactful thing that I've done with money, probably take the majority of money that I make and I reinvest it back into my business to mentor and coach and develop other individuals. I'm always just focused on what can I do next to motivate and inspire the next individual, because I look up to individuals and, it's like I feel like I'm getting to a point to where people are looking at me because they've always looked at me, but it's now, like you said, now getting to taking it to a whole nother level, having hundreds of thousands of people looking at you and watching you and being motivated and inspired by you. My thing is I want to see how I can help somebody. So my thing is I take my money, I take the money that I earn and I put it back into mentorship. I put it back into coaching. Like I support another coach. Like like somebody like if like you come out with an ebook, I'm buying it and I'm gifting it to somebody. I'm trying to make sure that I can give the most impact and bring the most value to the community as possible. It's not about me. It's about the people. So my thing is when I get a hold of money, I'm trying to figure out how can I reinvest it to be impactful to somebody. So that way when I leave, the people say that was a good guy. That was a good guy.
And honestly, I think that, people don't understand that the fastest way to get blessed is to bless others. Right. And so even in that mindset, you're not even almost, you are guaranteeing that the blessings continue to circulate, right? Because you don't get what you want. You get what you are. If you're a blessing, you'll get blessings.
It's always a blessing to be a blessing.
100%.
And I think that's, like off the scene, me and you was talking about how we met and stuff, right? And it just kind of so happened that everything happened the way it's supposed to happen. Like, I gravitated towards Neo because I kind of saw myself in him, God-fearing and just, being a family man and things of that nature. And I said, that's I aspire that, right? And so for me, when me and you met, it was through the Neo connection. And so when I said, man, Ash is he's grounded. Like he's got a good spirit about himself. And so again, it's just when you're a blessing, like I know when somebody being a blessing and you that type of person. And so that's why, the energy is just, it's natural. You know what I mean? It's natural.
No, I love that. All right, so we're going to do our lightning round. And so what we do is we're inside the vault. And so we take bank terms and we flip them, for our audience, for our insiders. And so the first word we're going to use is deposit slip, right? A deposit slip, you walk into the bank, you fill out the deposit slip, and you're putting money inside of the bank. But here inside the vault, a deposit slip is a money mistake, a slip up, right? A money slip, right? What is the biggest deposit slip that you've made so far in your journey?
Wow, that's key. So what's basically the biggest slip up that I made? I think just really just being naive to business partners and not really understanding, not everybody is for you, and so if they're not for you, they may be against you. And I just not really paying attention to signs and understanding that, again, like I said, that my environment is key, and like we don't understand it. We think that it's a joke. I think that outside of that mistake is really understanding and looking at myself and saying, yo, like you're the go-to guy and you've been that guy for a while. Like you've been that guy for a while. Why won't you go outside of this environment or go outside of the circle that you currently that you're talking to every single day and go find some hitters and some people that's really making some moves like yourself. So for me, I think that was probably my biggest costly mistake is just staying in the same environment for year after year because the most expensive thing is being in the same place you was last year. And so for years and years, I'm like, I was like, oh yeah, cool, I'm making a lot of money. And, everybody like, oh, but it wasn't really getting me nowhere. Like if I'm not around like the Ash Cash and the Nehemiah Davises and the Him 500s and the Alex, like if I'm not surrounded by these people or if I'm not trying to chase after these people, then what am I really doing? That's a mistake. Big mistake.
I love that. All right, word number 2. Charge off, right? You know what a charge off is, right? But we're going to explain for the people, a charge off, you borrow money from the bank, you don't pay the money back, the bank's trying to get the money, but eventually you're like, you know what, we're going to charge this off. But for us inside the vault, a charge off is about, what type of people or mindsets did you have to charge off in order to, get to where you are right now?
I think we kind of touched on this a little bit. But like the mindset is just really understanding that, whatever you put your mind to, you can do. Like it's really like you talk about abundance all of the time. And I love it because that's really what it's all about. Like people need to understand that, we were all made special and we all have a gift and we have to work within our gift. The word said if you make room for your gift, like if you make room for it, it's gonna make room for you. You just have to really operate within your gift. And so for me, I think for a long time, because I've been in sales for a while and being in sales, I think that I'm like, I'm good at this, but it wasn't really my gift. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really my gift. And just, teaching people and coaching and motivating, and inspiring other people and just really giving back and pouring value into other people, that's really my gift. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say.
All right, bet. Last but not least, ATM, right? ATM, automated teller machine. You put your card in, you get the money out. You get the money out. But for us, ATM means another teachable moment. You dropped so many bars here today, brother. But I need one more, man. I need you to look in that camera. Give us one more teachable moment. What do you want our people to walk away with? What you want them to know? Yeah. They're going to be like, yo, Dion dropped some bars, man. Give us another teachable moment.
What I would definitely say is that, I'm here today with Ash Cash because I made a lot of sacrifices. So my question would be to everybody is, what are you willing to give up to go up? That's my question. You got to be willing to sacrifice. I literally, at the drop of a dime, I met Nehemiah Davis last year, October, and, I told him I was very serious about my future. I was very serious about taking care of my family and really, truly getting to that next level. And he said, well, listen, he said, if you're really serious, he said, you need to be in that environment. He said, you need to go ahead and you need to relocate and come to Georgia. Here we are 6 months later, I'm here. I didn't question it. I said, I think that this is the path that I need to go down. I had the conversation with, the wife. I told her what we were going to do. And so we just really started working in alignment with, what it is that we wanted to do, what our goal was, which is to take the family, relocate to Georgia. And I would tell y'all this too. As you're willing to give some things up and you're willing to sacrifice to get to that next level, what I will say is this, start telling everybody about it. A lot of people keep the best things that potentially or possibly could happen to you, they keep them to themselves. Yeah. I'm gonna tell, if I tell Ash, yo, I'm gonna make 20 million this month. I gotta write that thing down. Right. I gotta tell the family. I gotta go tell Ash Cash about it too. Right. So when I decided that I was gonna relocate to Georgia, I said, Neo, consider it done. Yeah. He said, when you gonna do it? I told him when I was gonna do it. I did it before I was actually gonna do it. Yeah. I told him this year, October, and I ended up getting here, I think this year, April. Right. I've been here like 30 days. And he was like, man, you're not joking. I said, bro, I'm running the play. So I told him I was going to do it. I wrote it down, told the wife. I started telling everybody I was moving to Georgia. Yeah. And it was like, when you leave? I said, soon as possible. Started planning, started putting everything together. Because most people, man, when they really want something, they be afraid that it's too big. They not really going to accomplish it. They don't want to tell nobody because they're afraid of embarrassment. Yeah. I'm not that guy. Like I said, yo, I'm going to get here. I'm going to do it. This is what I'm going to do about. And then before that actual day, because I got it done. Yeah. So I just want to encourage everybody to be willing to sacrifice and be willing to give something up to go up. It was uncomfortable for me to go from where I was used to. I've been there 30 plus years to now be in a whole nother state. Yeah. I had to hit the reset button, refigure it out. I ain't got no friends around, no family around. It's just me and the fam. Yeah. Intermediate fam. That's it. Right. That's it. And if that ain't uncomfortable, I don't know what is. Right. And people got to be willing to get, be uncomfortable. Like you got to get uncomfortable to be comfortable to get where you're really trying to go. So that's what I would say, Ash. That's it, bro.
Yo, what are you willing to give up to go up? That's the bar of the show. Dion, dominate the decade. Let's go. I know you got a gift for our people, man. Talk to our insiders, man. Got you.
So this is what I'm going to do for everybody today. I'm going to give you guys a copy of my ebook. It's called Quick Credit Reference Guide. What this book does is it gives you the opportunity to understand how your personal credit profile needs to be structured. So on a personal, on a business side, you can go and get approved for any and everything, right? Instead of, applying for stuff and getting to decline. It's also going to show you how to build your actual business and build business credit. So it's going to teach you how to literally build a business from scratch, start your LLC the right way, the actual place that you need to go to register your business. Everything is going to be inside of this book, and it's going to teach you how to build business credit. All you got to do is text free credit to 74121. Text free credit to 74121. I'm going to get you guys all that copy, and it's just for Ash Cash having me on the show today. I just want to bless, the community with that gift, brother.
My brother, I appreciate you. Listen,
you too, bro.
Insiders, I'm telling you, like I promised, you know what I mean? Thing ain't lie. Right? Like I said, man, y'all gonna have to watch this over and over again. A lot of gems have been dropped, a lot of information. He from Chicago, so he talk fast. So slowly, but make sure y'all tap in with Dion. If they wanted to connect with you, where can they follow you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, definitely. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at Mr. Phenomenal Power. That's at Mr. Phenomenal way it's spelled and power the way it's spelled, all one word. You can find me on Facebook at Dion Coopwood, just my regular government name, brother. And that's where they can find me at.
Brother, I appreciate you. You kept your word. You said you gonna flame this up. You kept your word, y'all. This is fire. We are closing out the vault. Another awesome episode. Make sure y'all visit our website, InsideTheVaultShow.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault. Matter of fact, I need you to text the word insiders to 646-687-4152. We got something special for all of you insiders who are tapped in with us on a weekly basis. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for sharing the word, for reviewing the podcast, for, subscribing, all of that good stuff. Make sure you follow me at I Am Ash Cash on all social media platforms. And I'm going to see y'all next time. In God's will, same time, same place, inside the vault, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. All right, y'all. Peace.
Oh yeah. You want ass cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.